Another local product was the high-quality white sharp sand from the Verwood sand pits under Stephen's Castle. It was taken by horse and cart to the station, where much of it was put on the train to Merthyr Tydfil. There it was used in the manufacture of bricks, which carried the Verwood name. The sand was also used in the construction of Southampton docks and the Mulberry harbours during the last war. It was very good for plastering walls and also for the production of glass. The sand pits were used as a training ground for the Home Guard in the last war. The older hands sheltered in a cabin at the bottom, sending the rookies out on patrol with the assurance that they would be with them shortly. Parts of the area were camouflaged to make the enemy believe they were the large army petrol depot at Westmoors further south. The sand pits ceased production many years ago, though much gravel and sand is still extracted in the nearby Ringwood forest.
The sands and clays of the area led to brick and pottery industries. Here we see the station brickfield, one of several operating in the Verwood district. The rather rickety buildings at the back were used as drying sheds. This map covers a small area of Verwood in the vicinity of the present-day Fairwood Public House. There are many references to gravel, clay and sand. Another brickworks was later built on Black Hill, as we shall see.
In their heyday, potteries were scattered all over the neighbourhood. As well as clay, the commons provided ample wood for firing. This map shows the confirmed pottery sites and those which are highly probable. The seams of clay ran south from Salisbury through Fordingbridge, Sandal Heath, Crendell, Cripplestall and Verwood to Horton. When the brickworks and potteries were in full production, they must have produced an enormous amount of air pollution.
Pottery was produced in the area from Roman times and was at its peak in the 18th and 19th centuries. Here craftsmen proudly present part of their range of wares at the Crossroads Pottery, last to close in 1952. Verwood potteries produced, in the main, domestic utensils, although in later years some fancy goods were introduced. Bread pans, water pitchers and carriers, candlesticks, posy baskets and milk jugs were just a few of the products made.
George Brewer shovels the clay onto the floor for Len Sims to tread. This operation incorporated sand and water into the mixture and also detected small stones which had to be removed. Note the stick Len is holding to prevent him from falling whilst treading the slippery clay.
Bert Bailey shapes a pot, whilst Harold Churchill turns the wheel. This wheel was operated by a push and pull motion of the rod. It is said that the understanding between the potter and his lad as to the speed of the wheel was such that little conversation or instruction was necessary.
Pots were mostly dried inside the shed, aided by a turf fire, but here the fine weather has caused them to be brought outside. Meshik Sims is the potter, and his table is turned by use of a hand wheel. In this earthenware, bread could be kept moist and drinking water kept cool during the hot summer days. The rearings or layers by which the cob buildings were made can clearly be seen on the shed.
The drying shed of the old Crossroads Pottery is one of the few original buildings to survive today. It is now a very useful hardware store, the Potter's Wheel, run by a long-established Verwood family.
Expertise passed down over the generations would tell the potters when the firing was complete. The kiln was allowed to cool for 2 days before the pots were removed. The master potters were usually first into the kiln to see whether the burn had been a successful one.
This looks like a successful firing, and all hands help in the unloading of the kiln.
On a summer's day, a group of ladies enjoys a demonstration. Goods could be bought on the premises or speciality items ordered. A critical eye would be cast over the wares by experienced housewives who knew a good pot from a bad one.
Verwood pottery was used over a wide area, including Basingstoke, Salisbury and Devon. Hawkers, known locally as higglers, carried these and other produce by horse and cart. One such was Mr. Pan's Brewer, shown here,